Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to take one of DJI's newest products, the Osmo Action, and combine it with one of their oldest products, the original Phantom 1. Let's check it out and see what happens. So when DJI released the Phantom 1 in 2013, it was a real game changer. It was one of the first drones that you could fly right out of the box that included brushless motors and GPS. GPS was a big game changer because you could literally park this thing in the air, which is something you couldn't do before. I remember getting mine and just being blown away by it. It was also one of the first drones directed at consumers that consumers could actually fly. I remember I had a few other drones before this that didn't stabilize themselves, didn't have GPS, and were much, much harder to fly. But with the Phantom 1, it was no problem to get this thing in the air, it was super stable, and it was almost like magic. Well, flash forward to today, and of course, all drones now that are used for video and cinematography have a gimbal built in, and a lot of them have a camera built in, and they're super smooth and they're super stable. But at the time, when you flew this thing with a GoPro attached to it, because that was really what it was designed to have, was a GoPro, and I think it was a Hero 2 when I first started, and then went to a Hero 4, and I put other things on it. But the footage wasn't that great. It tended to be a little bit shaky unless you had a really clear day with very little wind and you could fly really smoothly with balanced propellers, you would get some shake and some jello in your footage. Well, now with the DJI Osmo Action and Rocksteady, I think that's gonna change. So what I'm gonna do is attach this to the bottom, and the great thing is it's ready to go. I've had this on here since I was attaching GoPro Hero 2s to it, and this should just hook right on and see what kind of footage we can get using the Rocksteady feature of the DJI Osmo Action. So let's go out in the field and check it out. Okay, so we're out in the field. I just turned Rocksteady on this Osmo Action. And I'm going to show you, first of all, one really nice thing is the case is compatible with any sort of GoPro mount. So that's what the Phantom 1 has on it, is a GoPro mount. So it's should be really easy to put on. And so we'll put this on like so. So I'll go ahead and tighten it down. Put it at a slightly downward angle. I'll go ahead and set it down here, and we'll take off and we'll just fly around a bit and see how it looks with Rocksteady on. So I'm gonna step back just a little bit because this thing isn't quite as stable as a more modern drone. So it will hold it. I'm getting a little bit of shake, but not too much. Spin it around. And the GPS on the drone is not quite locked in yet, so let me let it lock in. It's just kind of drifting a bit. Now it seems to be locking in a little bit better. So, but that's kind of some drift it's getting. It's a little breezy out here today too, but the GPS should be holding. So, yeah, well, it's kind of doing a big circle around me on its own. All right, let me go ahead and just fly it forward towards the football field. And now back towards us. Go right over these trees. Now I'm going to try kind of strafing to the right. Now I imagine it's not going to be level. I don't know. I'll have to see what the footage looks like. Imagine it won't stay level, but it should at least be steady with Rocksteady. But how steady, I'm not sure. rotate it and bring it back down. I'm gonna fly it a bit lower, back towards us. Like I said, it's a little windy today, but not terrible. Now I'll let go of the stick and see if it stops with GPS. Well, now it's kind of stopped. Spin it around so you can see us. I'm gonna try doing a little bit of an orbit around us and see how that looks without hitting myself. All right, orbit, here we go. Remember, this thing has no motion or no collision sensors, none of that stuff, and fairly shaky GPS today. It's a bit more challenging to fly than like a Phantom 4 or a Mavic for sure. All right, now I'm gonna try flying it under this tree branch. This might be a little bit tricky, but let's see how it does. In between those benches. Now straight up. Getting a red blinking light when I'm going up, which tells me the battery might be getting a little low. Not too bad for a first flight. All right, let me swap out the battery and I'll do one more. I've got the Mimo app going and I've got the Osmo Action in record mode. I'm gonna see how far I can go and still see the image on the Mimo app. So I'm gonna just take off and hold this right here and see at what point I lose it because it's connected over Wi-Fi. I'm guessing probably about 100 feet, which would be about 30 meters or so is when it would go away. You gotta really goose it to get it off the ground. So far I've got a pretty good view. Okay, I've lost signal, I think. I'm not getting a live feed anymore. Yeah, it's gone. I'm probably 80 feet in the air, maybe 100 feet in the air, and my device is disconnected. So let's bring it back down. That's not really Mimo's fault. That's more a Wi-Fi limitation. All right, let me see if I can reconnect to it. See if it doesn't drift off into a building or something while I'm trying to do this. Can I see the network? All right, turn Wi-Fi off, turn Wi-Fi back on. All right, there it is, Osmo Action, reconnecting. Unable to join network. Try one more time. Okay, so I guess the theme that I've taken up here is Mimo and Wi-Fi are no replacement for OcuSync or Lightbridge. You're not going to get a live feed from very far away. As soon as you fly any sort of distance, it's going to disconnect just like it did to me. So don't think you can fly this thing using Mimo as a controller. So that said, let's fly a bit more, try a little bit more with the camera connected to it as a stabilization with the Rocksteady stabilization. See how it looks?
I noticed the camera's tilted up slightly, so it's going to be a little different this time. The drone's tilted forward, so that might actually work out pretty well. Now I'm going to just let it go up a bit and try to just, it's not holding its altitude, so I'm going to try and set the altitude about the same and just see if I let it just sit, how steady it looks. So right now the camera, or the drone, is somewhat holding in one place using GPS. I'm curious if this shot looks pretty steady using Rocksteady. I'm going to flip it around and fly it pretty fast over the football field. Yeah, and it's also a bit challenging because it isn't as powerful. The motors and the battery's not as powerful, so it's kind of struggling with the weight of that camera a little bit. Let it kind of go down low, sideways. Here's what that shot looks like. Here's low forward. Make sure I'm over that fence. That's a little too low. Very low. Probably dangerously low there. The flyby. Okay, let's take that footage back and see what it looks like. See if it's any good. All right, so I have to say I was pretty impressed with how well this did on a drone with no gimbal. It kept the shots looking nice and smooth, especially when you flew straight forward and you didn't make any sudden turns. Now, where it kind of fails is in keeping the horizon steady, which a gimbal will do. If you're flying sideways or you're making sudden turns, you're going to see that horizon line kind of shifting, which I think is what makes you feel a little seasick when you're watching bad, shaky video. So if you're going to use this thing as an establishing shot from a high position where it's a nice wide shot and you're basically just holding the drone steady using GPS, I think it'll work great there and look like it's on a gimbal. Or if you're going to use it to fly forward in a very smooth way, it's going to look pretty cinematic. It's also going to be awesome for FPV racers who want to stabilize their footage, or freestyle people who want to put it onto a freestyle drone. I think that's going to be really an awesome use case, and as a matter of fact, I have a Shen Drones Squirt 2 that I'm going to put this thing on and try my hand at some of these really cinematic Cinewhoop shots that people are doing. I'm very excited about that. Overall, it's a great little camera. It was fun to put it on to DJI's original Phantom 1 and see how it would do. Phantom 1 was a little underpowered to lift this thing, but it did okay, and as you saw from the video, I had a lot of fun doing it. If you like this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more about drones and cameras and stuff like that, I hope you'll subscribe to Ready Set Drone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.